Today, we are going to react about Gareth Bale's interview about his time at Real Madrid.
You sign as a Galactico and they expect you to be everywhere, do everything. And I was the opposite. I just wanted to play my football and then disappear back into the darkness. I could speak Spanish and I wouldn't want to because I just wanted to keep everything private and quiet and not have this big fuss around me. Maybe that's why they attacked me, because I never really give a lot. They probably just didn't understand me as a person. There were some hard times when you feel very lonely, when everybody gets on your back and you're getting whistled and booed, especially the first time. I was quite young, 24, and didn't know how to deal with all this pressure and expectation.
So before reacting to what he said here, let's first react to what ESPN panelists said.
To do was go and play for this huge club, biggest club in the world, be a Galactico, but then when he's away from the pitch, away from the club, to just enjoy his life quietly. Is that naive?
I think that's called professional. I don't have a problem with that at all. That seems to me if I'm an owner, if I'm the coach, if I'm involved in the club, I want my best players to turn up, produce, and then go home and just have a nice quiet time. I have no problem with that.
So I do agree that as a player, their main responsibility is to produce on the field, not off the field.
I don't understand why they would get on his back, particularly when he's only 24, as he said. To me, he's gone about it the right way. You know, he didn't, as far as I know, he didn't snub anybody. He just didn't want to say an awful lot. What's wrong with that?
To be honest, first couple of years, no problem with Gareth Bale at Real Madrid. The only issue Real Madrid fans had problems with him last 2 years. We saw lack of professionalism from him. At times, he wasn't prepared to play when we needed him.
That shouldn't get the fans on your back. The fans, if you're producing on the field, then why are the fans getting on his back? That makes no sense. For some reason, they didn't take to him. And I'd love to know what it is. But it can be because he just went home and stayed in the house.
So let's discuss about the booing. First year, he got booed one time. I fact-checked. Actually, yeah, he was booed. But that was not a major event. The main split happened between him and the fans last 2 years, as I said already. Also, I'm not going to defend booing as a culture from the fans, because no matter how the players are doing, I think booing is not a good thing to do. Regardless, we have seen booing is a kind of a culture at Bernabeu. Like we have seen Zidane getting booed. We've seen CR7, one of the best player ever to play for this club, also booed. So it's nothing new. The pressure to play for this club is something you don't see in any other club.
You had to explain everything. Before the game, after the game, and every day of the week you had the press, where in England it's not that way. It's once a week and you're quiet and you live your life. Even if you have the tabloids, you don't seem to be bothered by the media. They don't chase you. In France, in Spain, or in Italy, they want to know everything. They want to be into your life, into your private life, and they want to know better. And they want you to share that. I remember Nicolas Anelka signing for Real Madrid, saying that he had to hide in his car trunk because he wanted to go to a mega store to get some CDs, because they wanted to know where he was going. So that's another life. That's another culture. And Gareth didn't get that. And I'm completely defending him. That's not the life. It's why I went to England, because I wanted to have another life. I wanted to have a quieter life.
Also, the role of media is also important. Spanish media is kind of weird in a sense that they always try to find something from the players. We have seen numerous times Marca and so making fake story about Bale.
You think that was just all a bit too much for Gareth in the end?
Yeah, look, I'm not going to criticise Gareth Bale for living his life exactly how he wants to live it. That's his right. But I think it's fair to say that maybe you have to play the game a little bit with the Madrid media. You have to be willing to give a little bit, and you make your life much easier if you do that. The other thing that I think we have to remember is that Gareth Bale, when he first joined Madrid, was hugely popular. Yes, there was a lot of pressure because it was a massive transfer fee. There was a feeling that this is the next Cristiano Ronaldo, but Gareth Bale delivered, especially in those early years. Think about that incredible goal he scored in the Copa del Rey final 2014. Think about scoring the Champions League final
So I have to pause here. Look at this number. So if you see that from 2013 to 14, the number is pretty good, like 22, 17, 19, and up to 2018-19, his performance is pretty good. 2019 and 20, where his performance wasn't good at all. And the last season was the worst, where he also didn't play much. Majority of the season, he was injured or he was faking injured. Now, earlier I said he lacked professionalism the last year because whenever Carlo asked to play, he faked injury. He said he had back injury. And the next week, he was playing for Wales. We can safely say that he was saving his fitness for Wales. His focus was to qualify for the World Cup.
But maybe doing a little bit, you'd get left alone more.
Yeah, but why are they booing him when he's 24 years old? I understand the last few years. I understand. He's talking about when he was 24 and he's getting booed and he's producing on the field.
You cannot just make a story out of a random event because these small minor things happens almost every club.
Somebody please explain why that's a good thing.
But
why it's the culture.
It's the Bernabeu, and big name players have been booed for many a reason. That's just how they are at that stadium. That's right, isn't it, Alex?
Exactly. I mean, this is Real Madrid. The pressure, the intensity, the amount of pressure is different from any other club. As we already discussed, the issue with Gareth Bale with the fan was in the last couple of seasons because we have seen numerous times his activity outside of the club was not good enough to satisfy fans. For example, Wales Golf Madrid, that banner, even though it was purposefully for banter, that was not good for fans. So he did not help him either.
Stevie, maybe it's not about Bale. It's about the media trying to find something and giving something to for the fans to eat on Bale.
I have to agree here with Frank that media is responsible to make this rift between Gareth Bale and the fans. When the media continued making fabrication and making false rumors and false news about his activities, that doesn't help because a lot of fans are trusting those fabrication. They are not fact-checking what's going on inside. In fact, a lot of fans don't know what's going on because he never spoke, right? If he would spoke to the media, okay, this is the reality and this is wrong, then fans would know what's going on. So he did not help by ignoring media. Anyway, I would say Gareth Bale is one of my favorite players to play for Real Madrid. I still like him. Yes, I was not happy with his antic towards the last season, but if you see overall bigger picture, the amount of goals and assists, what he contributed for this club is immense, and he was one of the missing puzzle for our recent success in Champions League. Let me know, what do you think about this whole event?